Hello, and welcome to Next Portable Console. That stands for NPC. My name is Brendon Bigley. I'm here with Federico Fetici.
Yes, acronyms. Hello, Brendon.
It's great to be here with you again, and I'm also here with John Voorhees.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you.
Yeah.
It's been I don't know. I missed you guys this past week. I was looking forward to doing the show. You know.
Yeah.
It's a quiet time of year. I think post CES, which hasn't been that dramatic in terms of portable consoles as last year. I think you guys picked a good year last year to go to CES.
Better than
yeah, which is weird because we thought it was a bad year to go last year, and then it turned out to be a better year than this year, which was basically only about the Lego Smart Brick and AI and nothing else.
And robots. Well, quote unquote robots.
punching robots.
Yeah. I showed one of the robots to Sylvia.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, we're gonna put one of these in our home." I was like, "Are you sure?" She's really into the idea of a humanoid thing folding laundry because she hates folding laundry so much.
Yeah, the idea is great. The execution leaves a little bit to be desired.
I don't know. It's kind of creepy. Kind of creepy. You know.
It is definitely kind of creepy. Here's what I'll say though about this, and not that I want one, but one of the main drawbacks people always point to about these things is that it takes a really long time to do. It's like, oh yeah, it's gonna fold laundry, but it's gonna take 6 hours to fold the laundry. It's like,
yeah.
Well, I'm still not doing it. So
It's true.
doing it in another room. I'm here doing this.
Right?
Yeah,
Have
exactly.
I ever told you guys that I am weirdly into the old Robin Williams movie? That is a robot. And he lives for like 200 years.
Bicentennial Man.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I haven't heard that name in forever.
I totally forgot about that movie.
Every once in a while, they air the movie on Italian TV. And I'm like, I gotta watch the Bicentennial
Probably
Man again.
because it costs nothing to get the license.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so old.
just like every few months, there's like Good Will Hunting on TV, which is another. I should say I am a huge Robin Williams fan.
Yeah, he's great.
And Good Will Hunting, one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yeah.
But also the Bicentennial Man. It's kind of it's weird and quirky in a loving way at this point. But the idea is the same. Like the robot starts as like a humanoid house appliance, essentially, and eventually he develops feelings and becomes a man, like a real person.
Yes.
I don't know why we're talking about robots, but
Save it
there's
for
that.
Excel, Federico. The things we do in our spare time, right?
Okay, yes, we're going to talk about that in Excel. We should talk beyond robots. We have some follow-up. I wanted to mention something. There's early support for the turnip drivers for the 8 Elite series of chips.
It's happening.
Very early. It's happening. Very early support, as we predicted. It's starting to happen.
Yep.
It's very early, kind of broken. I have not installed them. I should talk eventually about the Odin 3 Ultra that I got just before the Christmas break.
Yeah.
And it's been a little bit, as we expected, a little bit hit or miss in terms of drivers. I kind of want to find the courage to install the beta of the new turnip drivers on the Odin 3. Supposedly, people who did saw some really good performance improvements for some emulators, but it's all kinds of broken in other emulators. So I just wanted to mention this in case you're brave enough to do it. There's early support in the GitHub repo for the Adreno turnip drivers.
Right.
And so if you want to do it, word of caution. I saw from a few people that they installed the driver and it started crashing in a bunch of other Android apps, and they needed to hard reboot the Odin 3 and uninstall the driver. It was a whole thing, but it's happening. So keep an eye on it in case you're interested.
Yeah, sounds a little early.
Yeah. I assume this is the next item in follow-up is from John.
It is, because I saw someone on social media kind of ask the question out loud, why would you get a GB operator or an SN operator if you can just download ROMs? And this is something we've talked about on the show before, but not in a long time. So I thought it was worth revisiting, which is, that is piracy. And we try as best we can to get original cartridges and dump them onto things like SD cards and things for our handhelds instead of using the sketchy sites where you can download them. And something like the GB operator and the SN operator are a really good way to do that because they're fast. Not only can you back up your games so that if the cartridge fails, you still have the file that you bought yourself. You can play off of these devices. So it's a nice way to bring it to a Windows PC, Linux. You can use, this is a way to get them on Steam Deck. I know there are obviously ways to get ROMs onto all of those things without using hardware tethered to your computer. But I think Epilog's done a really nice job with their software too, that not only rips those files off of the hardware, off of the cartridges, but also lets you play them with all kinds of nice additional features like save states and filters and all kinds of other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the consumer friendliness of Epilog stuff is really kind of the key there, right? Because it does, at least I felt this with, I probably won't get the Super Nintendo one, but at least for the Game Boy operator, which I have, it feels like magic when you plug a game into that and you can just play it on your Mac. And it's like, I just turned my Mac into a physical Game Boy. It's a really cool feeling.
Yeah.
It's great.
That reminds me of a question that I wanted to ask you guys. Do you remember the first game you ever had? What's the first physical game that you ever owned?
Yes, I do.
I also do.
I do
What's
too.
yours, Brendon?
It's Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis.
Okay. What about you, John?
It would be Super Mario Brothers on the SNES because it came with the console.
Nice. Mine was also for the Super Nintendo, and it was this weird game that I think was supervised by Shigeru Miyamoto, Stunt Race FX.
Oh, I remember you talking about this before.
Race FX.
Have you ever seen Stunt Race FX?
No.
It's a racing game that was one of the first games to take advantage of what was it called? The additional chipset in the Super Nintendo? The Super FX, I think?
Yeah, it is the Super FX, yes.
Yeah. And it was a really terrible, difficult, quote-unquote 3D racing game for the Super Nintendo that I still have. I still have my original cartridge that my mom, she had no idea what she was buying for me.
Yeah.
But she got Stunt Race FX.
Was it like F-Zero or what was the style?
Oh, no, it was they're like these weird humanoid cars.
Yeah, they're cars with, instead of headlights, they have eyes.
Yeah, they have
weird.
eyes. Yeah, it's weird.
If you Google it, you've definitely seen pictures of it. There's this one yellow car with big blue eyes that's like the mascot, quote unquote.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll recognize
the main protagonist car.
The protagonist of Stunt Race FX.
Yes, and I've been thinking about the SN operator as a way to rip that cartridge 30 years after.
Might be fun to revisit.
It'd be fun. I wonder if there's still a save file on it. I don't know. Anyway, so this past week, there's been this leak that's been going around for leaked prices of the Steam Machine. If you recall, the Steam Machine was announced at this point 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to come out in early 2026, but we haven't heard anything else from Valve about it. I'm sure it doesn't help that with the RAM shortages and the RAM price increases, all of this is pretty much up in the air at the moment. But there's been this leak from a Czech retailer that revealed these prices that I'm going to read. About $950 for the 512 gigabyte version and $1,070 for the 2 terabyte version. This leak has been debunked by some people. I kind of want to. I don't know what to think personally. If it's true, it means that the Steam Machine will be more expensive than a PS5 Pro on an Xbox Series X.
Right. Also, that spread between prices on those two levels of storage seems wrong to me. $100 for 1.5 terabytes? No way.
No way. But what do we think of? Let's assume that there's an inkling of truth to this.
Yeah.
Would we get a Steam Machine at $1,000? Would be my question.
It's a pretty tough sell.
Yeah. I thought I was going to have an answer locked and loaded for you, and then as soon as I started thinking about it,
honestly, you do the gut check, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm careening towards. I think one of the bigger things is this PC that I bought during Black Friday last year, being equivalent specs. It was about, if I'm remembering correctly, $500 or $600.
$5? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was $500. maybe I just wait for Black Friday again later in the year, and then just pick something up instead if the Steam machine is $1,000.
Valve is very well known for discounting anything either.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. They really could if they wanted to. I heard a really interesting. I think it was Bob Wolf over at Wolf Den who had a video that he released about just like what he's anticipating for 2026, and he was talking about Steam machine pricing in particular, and he was like, obviously Valve could discount the Steam machine pretty significantly if they wanted to, considering it's booting directly into the Steam store and they're cutting, they're getting a piece of all of that revenue. His thing was if they price it too aggressively, it becomes the go-to Linux box that like companies buy 300 of to just use in their data centers instead, and then none of those are being used to buy Steam games, which I think he's probably right about. Like that's the difference between pricing the Steam Deck effectively and pricing this, which is just a Linux computer effectively or aggressively. So, I mean, I think $950 and $1,000 is probably a little bit too much, but I don't know. Maybe if the 2 terabyte version is $900, I would consider it.
Okay, yeah,
I would consider it.
I think same actually. The 2 terabyte version for $1,000, maybe. That's a lot of storage.
Yeah, it seems like the 512 should go down. The spread should be more. It should be that one should be then more like 800 or something like that.
Right. Yeah, 750, 800, somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah. We should mention what's happening at Meta in terms of Meta and Verse-related layoffs and some VR studios that have been shut down. So I think I saw that Meta laid off 1,500 people from the sort of metaverse department. And in the process, they also closed 3 VR studios. The Armature, so they were making Resident Evil 4 VR. Sanzaru for Asgard's Wrath, and Twisted Pixel, they made Marvel's Deadpool VR. They're shifting their focus, they're saying, to wearables. Kind of funny that Meta, Zuckerberg pivoted the entire company to the metaverse a few years ago. They changed the name from Facebook to Meta, and now they're laying off people and closing studios because they realize the metaverse is pretty much done.
Yeah, they bought basically every successful VR studio out there, and they're not going to be updating Supernatural anymore, which is the fitness app that was, of all the things that they had, was probably one of the most popular.
Also, like the 3 studios they closed, those 3 games are the reasons that I bought the MetaQuest 3 in the first place. Like I bought it for Resident Evil 4 VR. I stuck with it because Asgard's Wrath 2 was like the game that everybody said you need to play. And then obviously I was working at Marvel at the time when Deadpool VR was in development. So I was like, trying that game out as well. I also saw the team that made the Batman Arkham VR game that came out semi-recently. They laid off most of that team.
Oh, really?
Team as well. Yeah.
That was supposed to be a pretty good game, I think.
People really loved it. Yeah. I'm blown away by this. I found while I was cleaning out my apartment, I found my MetaQuest 3 again. I hadn't turned it on in a long time. It was like in a bag, like stuffed away in the corner of my office.
Yeah.
But I booted it up again, and I'm probably going to get rid of it realistically, but not before I play Half-Life Alyx, because they just released a Steam Link app for MetaQuest that allows you to just plug it into your computer and then play VR games from Steam on there. So I want to play Half-Life Alyx first, and then I'll probably bail on it, I guess, because I've played, I guess, all of the games that will ever be made for this thing.
Yeah, it's ironic that it's like a Steam library accessory now, right? I mean...
Yeah, that seems to be the best case scenario for VR gaming at this point, right? I mean, if you look at the PlayStation VR, nothing is basically happening with the PlayStation VR.
Right.
Yeah.
They are teaming with Apple for the Vision Pro for the controllers, likely to get rid of some of the inventory of the PlayStation VR 2 controllers. Meta is no longer doing any VR games, and they're no longer doing any headsets. And realistically, if you want to do VR gaming, that's basically on PC and on Steam. And I think, obviously, Valve, they have the headset coming out.
Right.
So that seems to be the best case scenario for VR gaming right now. In general, it's a PC thing. And once again, Valve is controlling the ecosystem, both in terms of the software library and potentially the hardware as well. So yeah, kind of a tough going for all the other companies.
Yeah, not fun. But man, Resident Evil 4 VR, that was like the dream for me. And boy, did I live it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Brendon has
perfect
finished
game.
Resident Evil 4 like 20 times. So
I have played, I'm not even kidding you, Federico. I think I've played Resident Evil 4 on all platforms all the way through, upwards of 70 times.
I believe you. I believe
Did you play it on iOS? You did not.
No, I don't think I did play it on iOS.
Don't give him new challenges.
Nobody plays.
No more reasons to play.
The remake. No, I did. I booted it up and I did not play all the way through it, and I don't know if I ever will.
Speaking of companies that are also struggling a little bit right now, AYANEO. Let's talk about AYANEO. They had to delay the AYANEO Pocket Play. So we talked about this a few weeks ago. The AYANEO version of the Xperia Play phone, the slide-out phone. There's been a lot of controversy around AYANEO over the past couple of weeks because they kept missing their promised deadlines for shipping devices to customers, including like the recent the Conquer Pocket Fit and the DS that they made. So they basically, people started complaining because they were not receiving the units that they signed up for on Indiegogo, and the CEO had to, I think, post an official announcement on Reddit and apologize to people. And as part of the process, they said they're gonna take another look at their entire, process for launching campaigns and shipping devices to customers. And as a result, the Pocket Play has been delayed by about a month.
Yeah.
To early February, they're saying at this point, because they have a huge backlog of customer requests.
They do, and one of the big problems was that these devices were showing up in retail stores before the Indiegogo campaigns were being fully shipped, which that's a logistics issue more than anything else, I assume. But it's a big problem. I mean, people support those things in order to get them early, and they weren't getting them early. They were showing up on...
such a bad look. It was
showing up on AliExpress and other places before people received them.
Yeah, well, that's the issue right now with the supply chain from China. The price is going up. And I mean, obviously, AYANEO, they have a bit of a cushion, I guess, because they always had relatively high prices. But they announce so many things, one after the other. And they have the Indiegogo campaigns. And then they're also in retail stores. And so I think they need to rethink their logistics a little bit because a lot of people are complaining everywhere. On Reddit, on the Indiegogo campaigns, like... It's a bit of a messy situation.
I saw the CEO. Maybe I misread this, but I think I saw the CEO of AYANEO got banned from Reddit.
Oh,
really?
Well, okay.
Or maybe just one of the maybe just the handheld subreddit. But either way, like people are not happy.
Yeah. A Kickstarter campaign that is now live that you can sign up for is the GameSir Pocket Taco. We talked about this last week. It's $30. They've raised a bunch of money already. I think I'm going to get one of these.
Can I just say that I went to their website and ordered one of these for $35 and had no idea there was a Kickstarter campaign? I mean, it's only $5, but I was a little annoyed once I saw there was a Kickstarter like 2 days later.
So mad.
And Justice for John.
Pretty sure they took my $35 already too.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry, John.
Okay. I know. Like I said, it's only $5, but I didn't realize they were doing both at the same time.
Did you get the Atomic Purple one?
No, I got just the Game Boy looking one. They didn't have Atomic Purple on the site.
They don't have Atomic Purple on their website. They only have that on Kickstarter.
Yeah. So see, there you go. I'm a little annoyed.
You should cancel your order and just get it on Kickstarter.
Yeah, you should do that. I wonder what's going to happen to all of these accessories. I think I know the answer. But when the iPhone Fold comes out, all of these accessories will not be compatible with the iPhone Fold, I assume.
I don't. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
I mean, if it's thin enough, but it's never going to be as thin as an iPhone Pro Max.
It's going to be hard. And that's one of the things about a device like this is who knows how many years you're going to get out of it anyway, even if you weren't buying a foldable phone, even if you bought the regular model, because the thickness has changed. I mean, one of the things that I did read this week was that it was that someone saw it at CES and that it was relatively sturdy, which, that was good to hear, given that when Brendon and I saw it, it felt taped together.
Yeah, you saw it last year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm curious specifically thinking about the Fold with the M-Con. Like,
ooh.
I assume that the Fold will have MagSafe on the back still. So
Yeah.
it'll still...
I mean, you assume
would
this
hope
is
so.
coming from the same company that didn't put MagSafe in the 16E last year.
True.
That's a good point. That's a good
Well,
point.
this is also a flagship device, realistically.
It'd be weird to not have MagSafe in there.
Yeah.
But also, like, having it closed, MagSafed to the MCon, is that just going to be too heavy to use normally?
It's also going to be a
Maybe.
wider phone, so that's a potential issue.
Right. We'll see.
And if that aspect ratio is right, that's gonna be all kinds of weird when it's closed. So the rumors are saying that it's gonna be a tablet when it's unfolded, like an iPad Mini, landscape orientation. But when it's closed, it should be a passport style device. I haven't really talked about it. I've only mentioned this, I think, on App Stories, John, that I got and I told you, Brendon, that I got the original Pixel Fold from 2023.
Yeah, man.
Before Google pivoted to a classic form factor for their Fold devices.
Right.
The original Pixel Fold from 2023, which is a perfectly fine device right now. You can update it to Android 16. It received a whole bunch of software updates. They fixed a lot of the issues that device had 3 years ago at this point. But when it's closed, it's this kind of, it's this squatter version of a phone.
Yeah.
It's short and kind of wide. And when you open it up, it's not a tablet. It's still square shaped, but it's the most passport style that Google and any other modern company has ever made. Now, the rumors are saying that Apple is going to make one that is even more passport style, so even shorter and even wider. So we're talking like about like shorter than an iPhone mini in the vertical side and wider than a Pro Max on the horizontal side. So really
What kind of
chunky.
aspect ratio is that?
Because I guess the
A totally
goal is
new
the-
one, John. We're
a totally
inventing
new
new
one.
aspect ratios for this. I legitimately, this is my dream. This is
Yes.
exactly
Oh,
what I
yes.
hoped for.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
same. Having used the original Pixel Fold for the past couple of weeks, it's so nice to be able to operate it with one hand. Being
Yes.
able to reach the status bar with my thumb again. I mean, what an invention, right?
It's perfect.
The idea being that when you open it up, it's a tablet, right?
Right.
So it's because it's large already. When you open it up, it's even larger and it looks like a tablet. But when it's closed, now that's going to be interesting in terms of layout and interfaces, but also in terms of accessories and gaming. Like
Yeah.
that, I cannot imagine playing a portrait game. Like that's going to be so.
You're going to end up
interesting.
with color bars or letterboxing no matter
Yeah.
what, I think, with that phone, if it's that aspect ratio.
But I'm gonna look directly into camera and I'm gonna say Riley and Shane, the developers
Yeah, I know
of
what you're
Delta.
gonna say. Yep.
The first update you have that allows me to hold it like a Nintendo DS and play Nintendo DS games, just send me the test flight. I'm there day one for that. I'm so excited. I'm buying the phone for that.
He's saying this 9 months in advance. So
Yep.
I think the strategy is going to
I mean
work.
it.
That's going to be so funny because that aspect ratio could be perfect for Nintendo DS emulation, even when it's closed,
Yeah.
right? Because you can have, even if you don't unfold it, it's going to be nice for
Right,
two
right,
screens.
yes.
Yeah.
You're totally right.
Maybe we never, I've kind of been doing this research for the past couple of years. There's never really been a huge market for gaming accessories specifically designed for foldables. This is a very, very small niche of the internet that I've done my research about, and I've tried a bunch of things. My foldable history has been the original Microsoft Surface Duo, rest in peace,
Right.
amazing device. Then I had, for a brief moment in time, I had the OnePlus Open. I had the original version of the Samsung Z Fold. And then I got a review unit for the Google Pixel Fold, the 9.
Yeah.
And now I have the original Pixel Fold from 2023 that I got as a refurbished unit. There are no great accessories made specifically for foldables.
Don't some of the telescopic controllers work with it?
They work, but they always put that concern in your mind that they're gonna break the thing.
Yeah.
Because foldables are delicate.
Yeah.
You know, with the hinge and
Yeah.
the whole mechanism, and the spring-loaded telescopic devices. They do apply a bit of force when you clamp them.
Yeah,
around,
some of them quite a bit. Yeah.
You know, and so I remember using a telescopic controller with my Surface Duo. and the original Z Fold, and I was like, man, this thing is gonna shatter my device. This thing is just gonna break, and it didn't. And then there are some issues where, like, I remember using the Surface Duo with the GameSir G8. I want to say was kind of weird because the USB-C port was like you would put the foldable inside the controller, and basically the bottom screen would just like hang from the bottom of the controller because the USB-C port was on the upper side. And so you and it was on the right. Could you just
flip the phone upside? No, you couldn't.
But the USB-C port was on the right side.
Right.
Yes. So you would just have this thing basically flapping at the bottom of the controller.
That's not great.
I'm trying to imagine how strange that is.
Very strange experience. So controllers for foldables. There are dozens of people on Reddit asking for a really good option. Dozens of people.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if anybody takes what 1X Sugar is doing with the wallet that we talked about last week and makes a controller like that for the iPhone Fold.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Almost like oh my god, what is that thing? The Nitro deck for the Switch. You
know, right.
Nitro deck.
This full thing that encompasses the entirety of the Switch. Something like that for the iPhone Fold. That could be very interesting.
Couple more things before we talk about who we are as people on NPC XL. We're gonna do that today. I wanted to mention there's a software update for the AYANEO Thor. The second batch of units is also shipping right now, and the prices are going up for the third batch of AYANEO Thors. The software update added features for anti-image retention, issues for the OLED panels, more control for fan adjustments, and improvements to HDR. So you want to go into your system settings and update your Thor, especially for the anti-image retention problems, because you got OLED, and you don't want to be stuck with some ghosting on your screens because of that. And I saw this thing fly by. Maybe John, you can tell me more about it. This thing coming to the Vision Pro, the Retrocade.
Yeah,
do you know what this is?
I thought this was worth mentioning because it looks pretty cool. It's on the iPhone, the iPad, and the Vision Pro. But on the Vision Pro, you basically go through a catalog of retro arcades that look realistic and are in 3D in your environment, and you pick one, and then you play the game. And they're coming out with Galaga, Asteroids, Bubble Bobble, Centipede, Breakout, and Pac-Man, and Space Invaders. So it's a pretty good collection of old retro arcades, and it'll be on the Vision Pro. And I think that's a really good approach because they do it so it looks like a CRT with the curvature of the cathode ray tube and everything. So it'll be like a kind of a realistic type of experience. I think that's a perfect kind of thing for Vision Pro as opposed to just playing in a window, with an emulated game. It could be kind of cool.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I
have one more thing. I want to add. I thought this was interesting, and I just want to leave it as a little tease, but it's worth mentioning, and we can link to it in the show notes. There's a talk about how FX works.
Yep,
that happened,
I watched it this morning.
A couple weeks ago. And one note, which we have in our show notes here, is that they tease that there is a product coming running FX that's going to be announced in the next month. And I'm wondering if that's just going to be the Steam frame. Like, is that going to be when we get the announcement for like pre-orders are open for the Steam frame and the machine and the new controller? I think that'd be very interesting. I mean, they said early 2026 for that stuff, so I could see February pre-orders open, maybe April, May shipping.
Yeah.
It was an interesting, very technical talk. I mean, I think what was cool about it is seeing kind of the evolution of how they've developed FX and what it's become, and the fact that they've, at this point, extracted basically the whole layer that involves Windows out of the software stack. So it's basically ARM going directly to the their emulation layer, I guess, or however you want to describe it. But it's how they've really sped everything up.
Inception level compatibility layers.
Yeah, the compatibility layers are they've basically recreated all the hooks that you need for Windows games directly, so that you don't have to actually call the Windows layer anymore.
Yeah. It's very interesting. But I'm thinking February.
Yeah, I think that's probably likely. I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't know about the product they teased. It struck me that maybe they were talking about software, but I don't know.
That probably makes more sense. John, do you want to take us home?
Yeah, I think I should. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us again for NPC. We'll be back in another week. We're going to be off to record NPC XL right now for our Patreon members. In the meantime, you can find Brendon over at wavelengths.online, me and Federico at macstories.net. And of course, we're all on social media. Just search for us there. Talk to you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.